that wants to play with the strap, this is Dennis's belt, and I think it's too small for him, knowing my honey. Although he did have a colonoscopy yesterday, so I think he could fit into it. But anyhow, so you can use a belt, you can use an old tie, you can use a beach towel, you can choose not to use it, or if you have a yoga strap, my two precious flowers in front of me have yoga straps. We can just create whatever we want. And again, if you don't have one, that's okay. You can just not, you can do what we're doing, but without a strap. I just invite everybody to be extra careful with the strap and be very mindful using the strap that you're not hurting yourself, because it's very easy with a strap to go beyond, you know, if you're moving just your arm, you know, but if you got a strap creating, okay, so we got that. So we'll start seated or not always gives you choice. So Dennis always does the or not. He prefers to nap time. Yeah, on his back. So that's okay too. And I invite you to get comfortable. I have grabbed a pillow to lift my buttocks. That makes me more comfortable. I usually don't use one. There just happen to be some. So if y'all want to grab a pillow, are you okay? We're not going to stay here forever.
What does it do? I mean,
what does it do? Watch the difference. Okay. So here I am. You see where my knees are? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now watch what happens when we put a pillow.
oh.
So it, and I don't sit way back here on the pillow because my knees would be up. I slide.
Okay.
And what it does is it just kind of comforts your tailbone, helps your knees relax more. Okay, so just demonstrating the old pillow. You can do it with a blanket too. You can, they actually have a pillow in yoga that they use called a zafu, very, very expensive. It is a round cushion like the old-fashioned cushions, and it's filled with buckwheat hulls. So it's sort of like a beanbag experience, and it's a little higher than this. Very expensive. They start at like $50, the cheapest. So if anybody sells and wants to make them, good project. So let's find a comfortable seated position. And once you're comfortable, I'm going to explain to you what we're going to do when we start our deeper breathing. We're going to hold our hands somewhere comfortable on our body, palms up. As we inhale, we'll open the palms. And as we exhale, we'll try to move those fingers with the breath. We'll make a fist. So we'll inhale and open and spread or not. And as we exhale, we'll be drawing that back into a fist. And again, maybe honoring that natural pause. You can also play with a pause, creating a pause at the top of the inhale. But I just wanted to go over that because just for now, I'm going to invite you to kind of close your eyes, let go of your day, or soft eyes. Neutral space. Think about where your chin might be, even though you can't see it. Maybe tuck it back a little bit and imagine bringing those earlobes over your shoulders. Sitting up nice and tall with or without a cushion or in a chair. And just being fully present. Letting go of the day as it has been. And allowing yourself, can you decrease the sound? Allowing yourself to become aware of the body parts connected to the ground. And doing a simple scan of the body, noticing where you might be holding tension. And again, no judgment. Or maybe tonight you feel perfectly fine and all the body parts are feeling good. They're happy campers. And then I invite you to bring awareness to the tip of the nose. And without changing your breath, just for now, just feeling the inhale and the exhale as it enters and leaves the nostrils. And then whenever you're ready, as I described earlier, maybe some people are just coming in, we're going to turn our hands so the back of our hands are resting somewhere on our thighs, maybe closer to the knees, palms up. And as we inhale, we're going to spread those fingers and expose that palm to the ceiling. And as we exhale, we'll draw those fingers in with the exhale and make a little fist. So beginning to lengthen and deepen the breath. Inhaling, feeling the expansion in the torso, expanding that hand, opening it wide in receiving mode. And as we exhale, trying to time the curling of those fingers with the exhale. No judgment if it doesn't happen. And making a fist, finding the natural pause and continuing at your own pace. Nice, slow, comfortable, deeper than normal inhale. You may be pausing at the top of the inhale. And by pausing, we don't hold our breath, we just pause it. Subtle. And as we exhale, just beginning to draw those fingers inward towards the palm. Finding the natural quiet space. Before you breathe again, we'll do this one more time. Open our eyes softly. For those of us sitting on the ground cross-legged, maybe switching one leg, then the other. And I had mentioned some of the early virtual attendees. If you have an old belt or a tie, or you happen to have a yoga strap, or you have a beach towel, and you want to play with a prop, we're going to do that right now. So finding a comfortable, we may want to go a little wider. We're going to inhale up. And we're not going to hurt ourselves. Exhale and come forward. Finding that pause, moving with the breath at your own pace. If you're short of breath, you might be moving faster. There's no perfect way. If you have a long breath today, you'll be moving a little slower. And maybe one more time. And kind of shake it out, shake out those hands for just a moment, maybe pretend like you're playing on your thumb, bringing them out, and then opening doors. Do whatever feels good to kind of shake it out. We're going to try this again. And if you're uncomfortable, you can just switch legs. We're going to get into the side body. And for this, we'll bring it up. Again, if that bothers you, don't do it. We can just do teacup arms if the shoulders are hurting, and move side to side, or hands down on the floor. The swaying palm that many of us are used to. But for those of us with a strap, nice, comfortably deep inhale. And as we exhale, we're just going to tilt to one side. We're not going to collapse. We're not going to pull our arms out of their sockets. We'll inhale back and exhale the other side without tipping over. Letting the head follow. Inhaling back, exhaling side. And last one. Bringing that strap, I'm just going to put it aside for now and start working on the back body. But first, we're going to take our legs out and kind of, that was long enough, don't you say? Yeah, I don't like to keep us in any one position too long because what's comfortable for one may not be comfortable for another. So let's go ahead and see if we can make that cloppity, cloppity, horsey sound or not. Your legs hurting? Does it hurt to do this, or was it just coming out of, we held it probably a little too long. Yes, oh, I got it. It's the arthritis, Uncle R, Uncle A. Well, I have both types, so my heart goes out to you. Okay, and then let's pause and let's flex the toes and maybe swish or not. Whenever I see grimace, that means maybe you don't do that. Just soften the feet a little bit. There you go. We want to be able to smile. Anybody feels like it, you could let your head go tick-tock with the feet or not. And just warming up the ankles, giving our legs a break from seated sideways. And then we're going to spread them a little bit wider, and we're going to have the big toes say hello to each other, hello or not. And so kind of the same thing as like we're cutting air. And again, if it hurts, don't do it. Just close your eyes and follow the breath in and out through the nose. Or if you're congested, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, so this time we're going to go ahead and maybe bend those knees. Just realized my posture was slumping. So one of the ways to ensure a more upright posture is think about lifting the chest. This time, let's see if we can draw a little ball or not. And again, if you have a tendency to I get cramps. Do you get cramps sometimes? And maybe go the other way. Nice job. And let's try again, maybe sitting comfortably, and maybe this time a diamond or whatever feels best, maybe not as intense. Okay, so I'm going to take my hand to the far leg and the other hand back behind my back to support my spine, keep it nice and long. Take an inhale, and as I exhale, I'll twist. And again, if you've been advised not to twist, you can just turn the head. Let the eyes travel as well. It's a nice little eye exercise. We'll take a few deeper than normal breaths or not. And on the next inhale, come back to center. Now, how's that feeling for your legs? Is that a little better? Okay, so we're going to switch and go the other way. I'm free. So I'm reaching across far leg. Try not to grab onto the kneecap if you can. You can grab underneath the thigh. You can grab just below the kneecap. And then maybe when you're ready, exhale and find a turn. Let your eyes travel. And breathe. And again, if you're gritting your teeth, that's a sure sign you've gone too far. Just back off. So this is just a very subtle twist. And as we inhale, let's notice the expansion of the ribs and the belly. And big full torso. And as we exhale, let's become aware that the ribs relax down. We draw in that lower abdomen, in and up towards the belly button, or just imagine doing that. And maybe one more breath. Inhale back to center. Nice job. Okay, so I promised some strap play. We started that way. So, oops, want to have the bad shot. So I'm going to come on down to my back. And you might want to turn your mat so you can roll your head, you know, where you're kind of parallel to me. If you want, you can, unless you just feel like doing sit-ups, because you might be going, Donnie, what'd she say? Oh, okay, I can't see her. So I think I told you the story about my mom. She said the thing that hurt the most was her neck, because she kept doing like this to see what I was doing. So if you're parallel to me, but what we're going to do is we're going to start with the knees bent. We're going to take a nice, comfortably deep inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the right knee in towards our chest. And we're going to take the strap around the ball of the foot, or not. It may or may not work today. We just get to play with it. Now, again, be very, very careful. I suggest you start with the other knee bent and the foot on the ground, unless you have absolutely no back issues, because this is a more therapeutic approach. And then very, very subtly find your place where you feel a sensation, but again, no pain. And bring your awareness to what you're feeling and where you're feeling it. Maybe close your eyes and just soften the face and just take a little resting breath. We're going to allow this hamstring, the back of the leg, to just kind of relax and stretch out. And if it's too much, you just simply loosen up on that strap and let the leg go away from you. And then we're going to go ahead and bend that knee back into the chest, take the strap off of our foot. We're prepared to do the other side. We'll take a comfortably deep inhale. And as we exhale, bring the left knee in towards the chest. And do the strap around the foot. If anybody wants to get a little more core work, nice job, nice job. And again, it's not how far you go. This is no competition. We really want to be aware of how it feels in our own body today. If you close your eyes, nobody can see you anyhow. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. I dance much better with closed eyes, except when I run into people. So just find that space. And let's imagine kind of setting that top of that thigh back into where it meets the hip. And bend the knee into the chest and let it go. So we've got both feet on the mat, knees are bent. I invite you to take a nice, comfortably deep inhale. And as we exhale, bring both knees into the chest. And take the strap around the balls of the feet or somewhere close. Extend the legs, keep a little softness in those knees. Maybe hold both feet up, keep a little softness, don't hyperextend the knees. A little bit of a bend. No competition. If you're comfortable, close your eyes and simply breathe and soften the face. And allow the heart to take a mini break. This is an inversion. And again, you can let the legs drift away from the torso if it's too intense. Just play with it. Find your own happy spot. And then bend the knees into the chest. We're going to release release this strap. Hopefully I'll put it somewhere where I don't run into it. We're going to go ahead and bring the heels towards the midline of each buttocks, respective buttocks, not to where it's uncomfortable. So it may be no movement at all, but the feet should be about hip bone width apart. And we're imagining that the heels are a little closer. And we're going to do a bridge pose. And we're going to start with the therapeutic way. So we'll take an inhale while we're still on the mat. The hips are on the mat. And we've got our arms in close to the body, straight with the palms on the mat. We'll take an inhale here, and as we exhale, we're just going to lift our hips, and we're going to feel the thighs firm up, and our chest rises towards the chin. And we'll inhale back down. Maybe try to articulate down the spine from the top to the bottom. May or may not happen. We'll get to play with it some more. And on our next exhale, we'll lift. This is the therapeutic way. It's less of a back bend in the lower lumbar area. Inhale down. Hips come back to the floor. Exhale and lift those hips. And imagine that you've got a block between your knees. So we don't want the knees splaying out if at all possible. We're going to inhale and articulate down the spine until the hips come to the mat. So we've tried it that way, and just for giggles and grins, we're going to do it the classic way. As we inhale, we'll lift those hips, press into our feet, firm up the thighs, and maybe you'll notice you have a little more back bend. And then we'll exhale and articulate down the spine, nice and slow with the breath, moving with the breath. Inhale up or exhale now that you've had a chance to feel the difference. The opposite when you articulate down the spine. Mine was an inhale up. If you exhaled up, you would inhale down the spine. And last one. And when you're finished, on your next exhale, bring both knees in towards the chest. And this is Apanasana, or double wind relieving pose. And maybe grab behind the thighs with the elbows bent, or if it feels better, you can place a hand on each shin below the kneecap. And imagine we're taking those knees in towards our armpits. So maybe the knees aren't right together, but slightly apart, and maybe shifting our weight side to side, just a gentle rock to kind of, this is the closest thing, this is the most gentle forward bend you can do, because the tailbone is tucking towards our torso. So it is a very subtle counterpose to those back bends in bridge. When you're finished, we're going to go ahead and release one foot and the other back to the mat. We're going to straighten out these legs. We're going to bring the arms alongside the body. And you can rest on the outer edge of the hands so the palms are facing the thighs, or you can have palms down. It's a different feel in the shoulders. And again, if you have shoulder issues, you can modify. You don't have to bring the arms up and over. But for those that can, we're going to inhale and we're going to flex. Point the toes. For me, it gives me cramps, so I'm just pushing the ball of my foot out towards the end of my mat, my thumb and first finger above my head, straight arms. And as I exhale, I'm going to reverse. I'm going to flex those toes towards my kneecaps and bring the arms down. And I'm going to move with my breath at my own pace. Nice stretch. You can play with your breath. You can pause it at the top of the inhale if you want. And if you're just beginning with some breath work, we call it pranayama. You can just kind of let anything I say go by the wayside if you're just trying to figure out how to move, but moving with the breath. Typically we inhale, we expand, and typically on the exhale we contract. And as we exhale, of course, we always contract that lower abdomen. One more time. Or not. When you're finished, I'm going to invite you to turn the palms down. The arms are still long. They're near the side of the body. We're going to inhale and bend the right knee. We'll exhale it and bring it in towards the chest. Inhale it, straighten that leg up and maybe flex the toes towards the knee. And exhale slowly down with the core fully engaged. Belly button to spine, lower abdomen engaged. Means the same thing. And then we inhale and bend the left knee. Exhale it in towards our chest. Inhale and extend that leg up and maybe flex the foot. And exhale slowly, slowly down, core fully engaged. Inhale, moving to the other side. We bent the knee. Exhale it in towards the chest. Inhale it up. And exhale, slowly, slowly, slowly down. Inhale, bend that knee, other side. Exhale, bring it in towards the chest. Inhale it up. Flex those toes towards the knee. And exhale, slowly down, core fully engaged. Nice job. So I'm going to invite my precious flowers here to roll over so that you can see me. We're going to go on to our sides. We're going to go into a fetal position, and we can either extend our bottom arm out so that our head rests on the upper arm. We can bend at the elbow if that feels better. Just so I can get a better look, I'm going to place my head in my hand, but I don't recommend that unless you're totally comfortable with where we're going. So we're going to start inhaling and lifting the knee and exhaling it down. And then guess what? We're going to switch it. I'm going to take an inhale where the knees are together, and we're imagining some sticky stuff at our ankles. I'm going to exhale it up, my core fully engaged. Inhale down. So belly softens. Exhale up. And what I'm doing is I'm still connected with my feet. I'm just rolling them. Exhale up. Inhale down. And let's switch it one more time. We're going to inhale up. Exhale, draw in that lower abdomen and bring it down. And one more time, perhaps. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to go a little further this time. We're going to inhale and lift the top bent leg and exhale it down. You can touch or you can hover. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. If you want to play with it, you can go exhale up, inhale down. I think that's a little harder. So, yoga is not a static wellness opportunity. You can play with it. One more time. Anybody feeling it? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Okay, then that's enough. When we feel it, let's quit. Let's roll over onto our bellies. Then we're going to do a thing called super person pose. And this is good for the low back. If it hurts, again, I'm just reminding everybody, myself included, something hurts, we don't do it. Now I'm gonna put my chin down so I can still talk. But you can lay the forehead down on the floor. And if it hurts to lift the neck for some reason, you can still just lift one arm and the opposite leg. Or if it doesn't hurt, you can lift and look down at your mat. Or if the neck allows, you can look out over that middle finger and exhale down. So lots of different varieties, lots of different options. Keep the head down on the floor or lift. Looking down at your mat or over the middle finger, depending upon the neck. We're going to move with the breath. As we inhale, we lift, and exhale, we bring it down. And we're not trying to go really high. This is a way to strengthen the back muscles. And we're also, one more thing, fun stuff to think about. We're extending out from the leg and the fingertips, just energetically speaking. Maybe one more time, or not, both sides. The last one, and then we're going to roll over to the other side to do clamshell and then separate. So we're just doing part of clamshell. And we got that sticky glue between our between our feet. I love my words. They're just so funny these days. Okay. And as we we can try it either way, inhale or exhale. I typically inhale up and exhale down with my core engaged. But we could also exhale up, core engaged, inhale down. It actually works better for me to exhale up, inhale down. But again, just as long as you're making the movement with the breath, that's really the most important. I just make suggestions. Maybe one more time, or not. And if you need to, let's maybe close our eyes and just notice how we feel. Check in with the body, take a little mini break. And then open the eyes. We're going to inhale. We're going to lift this top bent leg just to where it's comfortable, maybe 6 inches. I can't measure. There's no measuring tape. Exhale it down, draw in your lower abdomen. Or some people say belly button to spine. Some people say hug the ribs in. All of it will result in the same thing of protecting that low back. And also developing that core strength that you need to protect the low back, even when you're not exercising. And maybe one more time. So we're keeping that just a mirror. That top leg mirrors the bottom. We're just lifting the top leg, and it's not how high we go. Just where we're comfortable, and bring it down. Last one. So let's go ahead and roll over onto our bellies. And let's bring those hands right at our chest, in close. So, and we're going to tuck the elbows in, they're like chicken wings. Tuck the elbows in close to the body. We're going to get an opportunity to do a little push-up. So we'll take a nice breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to push up, really that core fully engaged. Walk the knees up. Maybe bring the knees wide and slowly bring, knees can be wide, big toes touching, wide-legged child's pose. Let the elbows relax down rather than straight arms, unless that's just something you want to do right now. We want to kind of rest the shoulders and those arms so they can be bent arms in front, or we can sweep the arms around to the feet and rest the back of the hand on the mat, so the palms facing forwards, and let's pretend like we're playing piano or waving to the ceiling. Giving the low back a chance to just kind of let go, bringing awareness there. Imagine your nose was at your lumbar area, that natural curve. And as you breathe, you're breathing in and out through that lumbar space. And we'll take a break from that. Where if the hands were round by the feet, we'll sweep them wide and bring those hands up under our shoulders into table pose. Gonna curl the feet forward. Walk the hands back. Tailbone down. Is everybody okay? Good job. Excellent. Okay. So, see if you can come up. You can lift the. There you go. Excellent. Nice job. Woo! That was a thick mat. Good job. Good job. The wobble kind of freaked me out a little bit, but you know, I wobble too. So one of the things that was making me wobble, I'm just going to point this out, and it's not picking on anybody, but when I first started practicing, we did everything with our feet together. As we get older, our balance isn't good, so that's why I talk about feet apart. So if you're coming up, one of the things you try to remember is get those feet apart, because especially with a thick mat, it'll be a wobble board, but you did awesome. There you go, nice and easy, much easier. Well, good job. Okay. So for a standing balance pose, we're running out of time. Too much fun playing. Let's go ahead and, did that feel good?
You cracked it?
I cracked. I snapped, cracked.
I wake myself up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Snap, crackle, pop. Yes. I also like to lift and spread the toes, since mine are wanting to do that, like the hammer toe thing. So I like to do that too. I like to really work the feet and the ankles. Okay. So for standing balance pose, and this is real critical, and you can always use your chair for support. Get all my junk out of the way. So if you feel like you're unsteady, if you're on a thick mat, I suggest you get off of it. Mine's very thin, so I'm okay for now. Want to have those feet about hip bone width apart, or maybe a little wider. We're going to imagine we were an ornament on a Christmas tree. So chin gets pulled back, and watch what happens to my neck. See, I get more length in the back of my neck. So it is like I'm dangling from a tree. I'm going to find a neutral space to look at. And for me, it's usually halfway across the room or a baseboard. Some people like to look at. But don't lift that chin, because you'll start to fall. So you might want to watch me first before we go there. And then I'm going to shift all my weight to one leg, and I'm going to bend the other knee. And I'm going to use these arms for support. I'm going to keep growing tall, because once I start getting lax, that's when I'm going to start losing my balance. I'm just going to lift, turn it out to the side. And if that feels too scary, I can put my big toe on the ground and my heel just above the ankle. And I can play with this pose. I can bring the hands to the heart. I can bring them up. Do a lot of shoulder work, make steeple. You can do a swaying tree if you're swaying. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one is same thing. We're going to lift out. And if you're feeling good, we'll place it on that lower leg. Ooh, get your head up. Okay, you can't do it, start here. This is perfectly fine. And then maybe lift that toe just for balance. Good job, excellent, excellent, excellent. And this may come in months down, or we can take all the way up to the 5. I know, you were looking at me. See, I'm not your Drizzy. Find a wall.
I couldn't see.
I got Renee laughing. Okay.
I'm focusing on that doorknob.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's good. I did watch your chin come up when you started to fall. Yes.
Okay.
Or if it goes down too much. So you really want, ideally, it's parallel to the floor, but it's pushed back so that you can be tall. So I'm going to show you one other way to do this. Grab the chair. But you tried it. That was awesome. You tried it and you did not fall down.
Not the first time.
No, you haven't fallen down yet.
Well, that's true. I haven't fallen.
Okay, so we have a chance to know that you start here and maybe just lift that toe because that's a great way to start. This is called tree pose. It's very classic. The reason I lift here and is I want you to open. We're doing a lot of hip openers. I was prepping you for this. And then find your drizzy, not another person. And if they laugh and wobble, you will fall. Or here, or here. And I might bring them, hands to heart, hands up above, hands out, or not. Or I can, I just lost it. Okay, so everybody has a weaker side. And we learn to honor that, and that's why we practice both sides. It's hopefully to bring balance to the body. So I'm going to try that again. Nope, not happening today, so that's okay. But this is another way if you can. There you go. Woo-hoo. Awesome, awesome. No, good job. Love it, love it, love it. Good job. Oh. So let's come on down to the mat, and we're gonna, I want you to kind of watch what I'm gonna do, not just flop down tonight. So, you can do that if you want, but I'm gonna come to the top third of my mat, and we're gonna reset the back, because when you do a lot of standing poses, it does pull on this low back. It is a little bit of a back bend, especially if you're like me and tend to poke my stomach out. So I want to reset the back. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just bend forward, and we're going to firm up our thighs and maybe place the hands, get some softness in those knees, make sure you don't hyperextend backwards. So it's like I'm extending from the tailbone to the crown, and I'm halfway over, a half forward fold. And I'm also stretching out those hamstrings once again. I'm firming up the thighs, but I've got softness in my knees. There's a little bend in my knees, very minor. And then I'm going to bend both knees, and I'm going to let my torso come down, and I can either put the hands or fingertips to the floor, or I can grab opposite elbows. If we don't have glaucoma and don't have dizzy spells, maybe crown of the head to the floor, and just kind of let that neck just relax out, and just feel the space we're creating between the vertebrae. Excellent, excellent, excellent for the spine. And then I'm going to take one knee down, the other knee down. And come on to my back. And before we start Shavasana, I've got one more thing I want to do on our backs. We're not going to use these lovely belts. I have to thank my honey bunny for letting me borrow his.
Does he know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I threatened to get his ties, but he said, here, have this belt. He does occasionally work still, so wears a tie. Okay, so we're going to do a thing called, and this is happy back. Call it Back Magic. You might want to watch first or not. We're going to, I think we've done this before. We'll take a nice inhale. As we inhale, we're going to bring one knee in and the opposite arm overhead. The reason we're using opposite sides of the body is working both sides of the brain, believe it or not. If the shoulders hurt, we'll just simply bend at the elbow. So we inhale, and we're going to exhale and extend that leg out and flex the foot. We're going to leave that leg extended up. Bring the arm back. That's inhale back. Exhale, bring the hand to the ceiling again. And we're going to bend that knee into the chest and exhale, hand and foot down to the mat. We'll do it on the other side. Now I'm using a modified version, keeping my other knee that's not being lifted off. I'm keeping that knee bent. You could also do it straight. My back's a little tenuous tonight, so I'm going to keep it bent. I'm going to exhale and extend that leg up and flex the foot. Now, we're not using a strap, and it's a little different in that you don't feel the intensity, you don't feel the real good stretch that you got with the strap that we did in the beginning on the back of the hamstrings. I'm going to inhale that arm back behind me, or I'll just simply bring it down into bent form. And exhale, I'll bring the hand back to the ceiling, bend the knee into the chest. And exhale, hand and foot slowly down to the mat at the same time. Doesn't happen. Mine didn't happen. It's okay. It's just a practice. So we're going to go from side to side, and this time we're just simply going to bring the knee into the chest, arm overhead or arm straight up. Let's do that. So I'm inhaling a knee into my chest, the arm straight up to the ceiling. Then I'm going to exhale and try to bring this hand and foot down to the mat at the same time, moving with my breath. So if you've got a longer exhale, you'll be moving really slow. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, because since we did so much shoulder work, I'm not going to have this arm overhead. I changed my mind. Just, and exhale, hand and foot down to the mat at the same time. There's these bundle of nerves at the very bottom of the tailbone, and I will probably mispronounce it, Claudus equinus. Anyhow, it's called the horse tail. So this particular back magic helps kind of even out that area in case the nerves get entangled with some of the practice we did earlier. I'm just trying to release any tension down at that very bottom. You can't see it. You'll see it if you're doing the nap. Oops, brought my arm. So used to bringing it all the way over. So let's close our eyes and do this one more time, both sides. See if it helps us engage the hand and foot movement down to the back at the same time. Okay. I hope you didn't throw away your strap if you're playing with the strap with me tonight. So I'm going to take my strap. We're going to end with one more strap thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring those knees together. You can either hold it tight, but you want to have some give. I know this, I'm making it complicated, aren't I? So, okay. You want to watch me first, Renee? I love you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, as I inhale, I'm going to pull my knees apart. You're going to feel it. And exhale back. Inhale, and it's like I'm opening, but I'm not going very far. It's almost like isometrics. And what this does is reset the pelvis, the hips. For those of us who may have some SI joint problems, that little joint that separates the spine from the hips, back area. We'll do this one more time. Are you feeling it? Did I describe it right? Okay, just try and pull against, get some tension and bring it back. And one more time maybe. That resets the hip, the pelvis, and release. And now it's your special time. We're going to find our way into a comfortable corpse pose. We can use a chair, put our legs up a chair. For my virtual students, if you have a wall in the house, you would come up sideways to the wall and put your legs up the wall. For some people, that's a little intense, or you can use a chair, or you can have the legs out long as we normally do. And typically palms are up, and that's simply to flatten the shoulder blades onto the mat. The back is aching. We can always bend the knees, bring the feet a little wider so the knees rest against each other, but there's no tension in the legs trying to keep this bent knee. Finding whichever works the best for you this evening. because this is our time to integrate the earlier movements through complete and total rest. And let's begin by bringing awareness to the eyes themselves. They're closed. Let's take one deep inhale, and we're going to exhale with a soft sigh through parted lips. And just let go. Lips lightly together after that. We'll be breathing with no effort in and out through the nose. Feel all the muscles around those eyes softening. The forehead goes loose and lax. Imagine that the cheeks are melting off both sides of the face. They're just finding total ease and relaxation. We notice our jaw. We can help it relax by separating the teeth slightly. Lips again are either lightly together or slightly apart. We let go. There's absolutely nothing that you have to do right now. Just rest. And if the mind today gets you thinking about other things that can bring anxiety, we notice, oh, that's the mind doing its thing, and we just simply bring our awareness back to the nostrils to feel the coolness of the inhale, the warmth of the exhale. And just let go. I invite you to think of a word, something simple, something that makes you feel completely at ease. It might be the word God, peace. It might be joy if you're needing a little bit of that in your life. And without speaking, just in your mind's eye, as you breathe, you repeat that word. Call it a mantra in yoga. And by repeating a word with every breath, mind can't usually do more than one thing at a time. And I know when I prepare for bed, I like the word God. It just makes me feel really at peace. If I'm having trouble sleeping, I'll follow my breath in through the nose and out through the nose with the word God. That's just an example. Choosing a word that really or joy. Maybe it's the word health. Lots of choices. Becoming aware of sound around you. Feeling the temperature on your skin. Maybe it's just your face. Maybe you're wearing long sleeves and long pants. And beginning to make subtle movements to gently wake the body. Might be moving the toes or the fingers. Up in a chair or up a wall. If you're up the wall, you want to go ahead and bend your knees and kind of push your to take those legs and find your way over to fetal position. Allowing yourself an opportunity to come back to the present. Whatever word you chose, you can always choose that word again through the day if you get stressed out. And just follow the breath in and out through the nose and repeat that calming word. It's one of the ways to meditate. I should teach a class on meditation, maybe one of these days. So if you're in fetal position, I invite you to take your top hand and bottom elbow and very gently with soft eyes, Bring yourself to a comfortable seated position. I call it easy sitting pose, Sukasana. And I don't like to say anything's really easy. I like to say slow and simple. Do what feels good. So I was going to use these bells, but I was afraid you were too blissed out and I didn't want to alarm you. But this is what I do when I have the big classes at the church where I used to teach before COVID. I used to do this a lot to get people's attention. Isn't that a beautiful sound? So in closing, if you care to join me, I invite you to bring your hands together, like prayer hands, and bring them to our heart space. Namaste. Thank you for sharing my practice. Thank you for making me laugh and find joy as a teacher. Thank you all for joining me virtually. Thank you, Susan, for filming. Yay. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening ahead. Take your time. Do what feels best. Do it mindfully. If you're even worshiping.